Hello everyone, this is Shaanee here. Previously, we have talked about a lot about summarized written text in terms of the possible mistakes and also how to write a correct summarized written text. I really appreciate that everyone has given me a lot of comments about how to improve my videos. On top of that, you give me comments about your writings, and I am glad that if my video is actually helping you. Today we are going to continue on writing. We're going to talk about essay. So essay is actually the easiest part in the PTE exam. The easy part as compared to IELTS, there are a few reasons. Number one reason, the PTE essay, we don't need to have very high standard vocabularies. Of course, if you already have it, that will help you. But if you don't have it, you don't need to worry about to have or to memorize or to start to learn some difficult vocabularies. And the structure is very simple. The way that you get marked in the PTE exam is also simple. A lot of times you are actually just getting one essay. Maximum you're getting 2 essays, which is very simple. So now I'm going to start with the possible mistakes, and then we're going to discuss something about the recent real exam questions with several ideas and examples that will help you in your exam. So I'm going to start from your possible mistakes. So your possible mistakes in the essay is, a lot of you guys think that essay is something that requires a lot of memories, on new memory, on new ideas, and also your what is called a new vocabularies. It's not like that. And when you write your essay, some of you guys are having a really messy structure. So the number one mistakes I would say is the structure mistakes. The structure mistakes, what kind of mistakes that you are having? Number one mistakes is you are having a messy, how to say, paragraphs. And when you write your structures, in between your each paragraphs, you don't have a gap. So assume this is an essay not for PTE. If it's an essay for your uni, you're trying to submit a assignment, you always leave one line gap in between each paragraph. But why don't you leave a line gap for your PTE essay? So make sure that you don't put all your paragraphs together. That's really messy. And on top of that, I'll write in here, in that case it's clear. Leave one line gap between each paragraph. Okay. Secondly, on top of the structure is your paragraphs are really messy. There is no really a specific rule that how many paragraphs you have to write, but ideally it's better to write 4 or 5 paragraphs. And I see a lot of essays that you guys wrote are having 3 paragraphs or maybe just 1 because you just put everything together. That's a huge mistake, so it's a big no. So not 1 or 3, not 1 or 3 or 2 paragraphs. No, big no. Okay. On top of that, after your structure problems, you will have another problem is your grammar. The grammar mistakes that happened in here, what kind of grammar? Because some of you guys actually, before you take your PTE, you actually took your IELTS, which I did IELTS as well. So when we do IELTS, we try to make each sentence are a bit complex. We use our fancy grammars and we try to make everything look so academic, so fancy. In that case, we attract the examiners. But however, in the PTE exam, we don't need to do such thing because PTE exam, first of all, it's marked by a computer, so there's no such thing about human interacting. And then secondly, the grammar, you need to be very simple because it's computer-based. Computer-based is sometimes when you write a complex sentence, if human marking is easier, they find out your problem, then they know what you're trying to say. But a computer are not able to do such things, so computer will actually misunderstand your key points. In that case, you might have a few marks lower than normal for your essay writing. So make sure that keep your sentence simple. Okay. Apart from that, you have another mistakes. It's called your spelling mistakes. The spelling mistakes is something that in the exam, on the PTE score report, you will have a specific mark in the enable skills. It's called spelling. For the spelling mark, you get mark, of course. If the more you get correct spelling, you get good mark. But sometimes you do have spelling marks. But spelling marks is somehow, I would say, half influence your marks for your writing, because a lot of times that is a writing habit, of typing habit, I would say, that you type something. For example, you write an argue. It's supposed to be A-R-G-U-E, but if you type A-G-R-U-E, in that case, the computer will recognize, yes, you are having a wrong spelling, then the spelling is wrong. But however, sometimes that you correct yourself. Instead of A-G-R-U-E, you actually corrected A-R-G-U-E. So you correct yourself, the computer will still give you a lower spelling mark because you used a lot of backspace. So under this case, you will still have a lower spelling mark, but your overall result will not get impact because you have changed yourself. So spelling is something that I suggest you work on yourself, turn off your autocorrection. In that case, you can improve your average correctness of the spelling. Alright, so apart from spelling is your coherence. Coherence, I will use something simple for you. I will call them connectors. So the key part in the essay writing is some of you guys try to represent your opinion, your ideas and everything, but you put everything together, you put a lot of sentences together without any gap, or you didn't use any connectors, so there's no coherence inside. So connector in here is a super important thing. So you can use the possible connectors. You have your furthermore, moreover, however, therefore. There are so many of them, so please use several of the connectors. You don't need to use for every single sentence. Let's say each paragraph, let's use 2 or 3 of them. That will help you for the computer to understand your idea. And apart from that is the representation of your ideas. Ideas representation. Okay, so the way that you represent an idea, some of you guys find essays easy because you have done this, you know how to write. Most of the case you're okay. But sometimes when you are new to this exam, you might find you don't know where to start your essay writing. So for the ideas, a lot of you guys, you actually just write a lot of new ideas. So in the introduction part, I believe you all good because you start to paraphrase some keywords from the questions. You try to give an opinion, and after that, body 1 and body 2 are something that you are making a lot of mistakes. So what kind of mistakes? You're introducing an idea. You said you agreed with something. On top of that, you're just throwed a lot of new ideas in one paragraph and then another paragraph. And then in that case, you are confusing the computer about what you are agreeing. So make sure that don't include too many new ideas. Okay, just keep yourself simple. Okay, so now that's the possible mistakes that you guys are making in terms of your structure, your grammar, your spelling, your connectors, and also your ideas, the presentation, representation. And as for the connectors, I'll just write a few in here. You have your however, nevertheless, therefore, furthermore, additionally, yeah, etc. So this is something that you can add on. So now let's talk about the rough structure, that how we're going to write one essay. The clear structure of one essay is structure. Okay, so the clear structure, I will suggest you guys write 4 paragraphs. Unless you want to write some suggestions, then you can add another paragraph. That's make it 5 paragraphs. So 4 paragraphs is easy, it's simple. You have less headache to write that. So the essay asks us to write 200 to 300 words. So please make sure that you don't write less than 200, neither more than 300. So 250 or a little bit more, that's a better range for your essay writing. And you need to make sure that, as I said, you need to have 1 line gap in between each paragraph. So make sure that you have clear information about each paragraph. So the first paragraph, we always starting from your introduction part. And how we do introduction part, we just need to restate the question. Restate the question by using 2 or 3 sentences. And you must have your agreement add the introduction as the last sentence. Doesn't matter, it has to be the last sentence, just you must have the, okay, here. So at the introduction part, make sure that you need to rephrase or restate the question by using 2 or 3 sentences, and on top of that, you have to give your opinion. So you have to have your agreement at your introduction. Normally the question gives you options, A or B, or do you agree or disagree, then you always have to add what you agree. And then after that, in your second paragraph, make sure there's 1 line gap. In your second paragraph, what you need to do is you need to support it. I call them body 1. B1. In the body 1 paragraph, you need to support what you have agreed at the introduction by using simple ideas and relevant examples. And then on top of that, you always need to give like a small kind of like a conclusion. For body 1. Okay, and then your third paragraph, you need to do is what I call them B2, body 2. It's something that you need to against what you agreed. So it's argue. Because this is an argumentative essay format, so here you need to start to talk about your argument. Argue what you have agreed at body 1 and gave the negative ideas and examples about in the body 2 part. What I said in here is in the body 1 you agree to something and then you have your supporting ideas and examples, but in body 2 you try to have an argument. Whenever you have an argument, the best way is to argue what you agreed. So if you agreed something, obviously there's nothing perfect, right? So you have to agree. You have to agree that there are some drawbacks about body 1, that idea. And then you just write your drawbacks in your body 2 and then write an supporting example. That would do. And then the next one is the 4th paragraph. The 4th paragraphs, I'll call them conclusion. Yeah. The conclusion part is simple. You just need to restate the question again. You just need, not the question, restate the, what is called? Restate restate the conclusion of B1 and B2, but emphasize on what you agree at AGREE at introduction. Okay, so under this case, then your essay will be enough because you have enough supporting ideas and examples and you had your strong argument. For those of you guys who like to write 5 paragraphs, it's very easy. After body 2, if you want to write another paragraph, after body 2, you need to write a suggestion about your suggestions about how to make the improvement, and that will help you for that. So this structure is mainly for your argumentative essays. The reason why I only mention about this because the argumentative essay are the most repeated essay questions in the exam, and then the problematic are very simple. What you need to do is you actually just need to change the body 1 and body 2 into causes and solution. So that will be easier for you. And I hope this structure is very clear for you. Now I'm going to take a roughly 8 the recently new repeated and new exam questions to simply just discuss a few ideas and examples. So in that case, you know what kind of things are the supporting ideas and what kind of things are called relative or relevant examples, because I see a lot of you guys are having ideas and examples but they're not related, so that causes some marks reduction in your exam. So now let's have a look at this one.
Sure. Can we put this in the next video?
Okay.
So
what I'm going to do, so I would just say
just anything.
So I hope this one is helpful for you. I'm going to leave, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you guys 9 questions. Those are the latest and also most repeated exam questions in the recent exams. So I want you guys to start to write your ideas and examples, and if you want, you can leave in the comments. Or what we're going to do next class, we're going to talk about the main ideas and examples, about how we actually write a good idea and also a supporting example, because I guarantee a lot of you guys are writing ideas and examples that are not relevant, and then you write your ideas, you write your examples, but the problem is you don't get your mark, or you're missing a few marks when you're writing. So I hope this is useful for you guys. If you like this video, give me a thumb up, and please go to follow us on the Facebook Dream PTE Coaching, because over there we post a lot of new exam questions and we give a lot of reminders about the latest changes. On top of that, please follow us on the Instagram and subscribe us on the YouTube and give me some comments below, and then I will try to improve and help you guys as much as I can. And all the best. Let's see you next time.